What is up, guys? Spot MMA here. UFC 330. Islam Makhachev versus Garry goes down this weekend. And I'm going to go through the whole card, starting with the prelims. And then we'll end with the main event. It's a little bit of a stinker, I'm not going to lie. It's not the best card in the world. There's definitely been better pay-per-views. Probably the weakest pay-per-view of the year so far. Hopefully it's the weakest pay-per-view of the year entirely. But it is not a good card. But it has a banger main event. So at least we have that, at least there is some saving grace. But nonetheless, let's get it started off with the early prelim opener of Jeremiah Wells versus Makhachev Oral Bly. And this is one where it's not really a hard one to debate, I think everyone kind of knows that Makhachev Oral Bly is probably going to go in there, ragdoll Jeremiah Wells, and submit him in rounds 2 or 3. Yeah, Jeremiah Wells is not that good. He doesn't have power on the feet, so Oral Bly will have to be a little bit careful on the feet, but he's fought better strikers and taken him down like Tufik Masayev. And that win is aging like fucking fine wine. Because, the things he's done to Ludwig Klein and Ignacio Bahamondes, the guy's really high level, and going in there and just destroying him in a round is very impressive. And I don't think he's going to be able to destroy Jeremiah Wells, but I do think he's going to wet blanket him the whole first round. The start of the second, Wells' arms are tired, he's a little more gassed. Oral Bly will have a little more success in the feet. Take him down again, submit him, get the back, submit him in round number 2. And it's probably it for Jeremiah Wells, He's not that good. I don't know why this is the fight being made. Maybe they want to cut Oral Bly. I don't know. Like, maybe they want, like, if he doesn't have a good performance here, if he doesn't have a statement kind of finish, maybe they're going to cut him, because that's the only reason I could think that they'd give him such low-level comp, because, we're seeing a lot now. Not a lot nowadays. The guys, really high-level guys who maybe, don't have much finishing potential getting cut, like Daniel Marcos. Someone else got cut that was really, really solid, but, was Renat Fakhretdinov. He got cut for not being exciting. So I do think that Oral Bly is going to finish him, but I think this is kind of like a finish him where you're done kind of thing, unfortunately. But I do think he's going to get the finish. And yeah, so I think he'll stay in the UFC, hopefully. I mean, he's really fucking good, so I hope they don't cut him, but who fucking knows with the UFC nowadays. On to the next fight. Neil Magny versus Ramiz Brahimaj. Brahimaj. Let me fucking make my webcam a little smaller here. There we go. Ramiz Brahimaj. This is a fucking close one too, because they're both not that great. Ramiz Brahimaj was on a nice streak, but he kind of got that kind of snapped pretty recently. So he just got his streak snapped by Soriano, who, in all honesty, isn't that great. He does have power, and he's a good wrestler. He also did knock out Earl Smedic, so, it's not like, but still, he's not that great. He'd probably lose to Neil Magny, or he'd chin him out of nowhere. But Brahimaj kind of got held down and out-grappled for 3 rounds. Kind of a stinker for him. Stinker kind of performance. And Neil Magny is a good grappler. There's one thing that Neil Magny is. He's a good grappler. He'll get you up against the cage. He'll drag you out. He'll fucking make it gritty. He did it to Phil Bro. That's kind of his game. He wants to get you, drag you, break you. I could see Brahimaj catching with something early and gassing, and Neil Magny having a Mike Malott type of performance like he had against Mike Malott, where he was getting fucked up and he rallied to a win. But I don't think so, man. I don't think so. I think Brahimaj is gonna go in there. Do I? I don't even know if I do. I'm trying to think about this, because I was thinking Brahimaj, but now I'm looking at the matchup. Magny's gonna be a lot bigger. He has a lot more experience. It's not like Brahimaj is anything special, He beat Mickey Gall. He beat... Who else did he beat? Not Billy Ray Goff. Like, really not high-level opponents. And this is a pretty big step up. Austin Vanderford, that's probably the best guy he's beaten, and he's not all that. I'm going to go with Neil Magny, man. I'm going to go with the underdog, Neil Magny, gritting out a decision against Brahimaj. Having a bad first round, maybe getting rocked in the first round. Brahimaj was a little bit crazy trying to get the finish. I just don't see Neil Magny putting himself in a position to get guillotined or a front choked, because that's what Brahimaj likes. He likes to hurt guys and catch them in subs. I think Magny is too crafty for that shit. I don't think he's gonna be playing around with that. So I'm gonna go with Neil Magny, 29-28, split decision, very close fight. Some people say Brahimaj should have won, but Neil Magny gets the decision. On to the early prelim headliner, Rafael Tobias versus Lucas Fernando. This is a very tricky one. A very, very tricky one. Because they're both kind of shit. Lucas Fernando fights like he's in slow motion constantly. Some of the slowest striking you'll ever see in your life. But with that being said, Rafael Tobias doesn't really have a power threat in the feet. He's more of a submission guy. And Cesar Almeida couldn't finish Lucas Fernando. And he's actually a really, really, really solid kickboxer on the feet. And he's pretty fast. He also lost to Bekaev on the regional scene. That's not great, being a light heavyweight losing to Bekaev. Because Bekaev's quite a small middleweight. I could see Tobias chinning him, but I can't trust in his striking enough. And Lucas Fernando does have sick striking, even though he's really slow. His technique is good. He has good power on the feet. So I am going to go with Lucas Fernando by a second round TKO here. Landing some combinations. He has good straights, good uppercuts. Like he's a very fundamentally good boxer. And he does have good like technical ability. It's just he's so fucking slow that anytime he throws anything, I'm terrified he's gonna get fucking countered and put out. But he only has 3 losses. He's never been knocked out. All his losses are from decisions, and he's fought really good comp outside of the UFC. Like his only losses are very good comp. Tobias in his UFC debut lost to Dair Nurgaje, who is not terrible. Like he just knocked out Bruno Lopez, but I don't know. I don't think Nurgaje is that good. I think he's also kind of iffy. Like I think Lucas Fernando would probably beat Nurgaje. But that's kind of his ceiling, I think. I think his ceiling is kind of beating a guy like that. It is light heavyweight, so Tobias could land something and catch Fernando while he's trying to throw something in slow motion, but I am gonna have to go with Lucas Fernando by a second round TKO in this one. I don't think Tobias is that good at all. But I do think Lucas Fernando will get KO'd in the UFC eventually. So there's that. On to the prelim opener. Vicente Luque versus Tresean Gore. Wow. How the greats have fallen in Vicente Luque. You know, this is a guy who was main eventing fight nights. He was a win away from getting the title shot against Kamaru Usman not too many years ago when he beat Michael Chiesa. And now he's on the opener of the prelims on a shit pay-per-view card against Tresean Gore. Whoa! Almost just fucking dropped everything, but we're good. We're keeping it good. We're keeping it good. We're keeping it good. Okay, we're good. I'm gonna go with Vicente Luque here, man. They're evens, so there's not a dog or anything. He's not a dog or a favorite, which is kind of surprising. You know, I think that Luque should be the favorite here. I mean, he's more tested. Tresean Gore's kind of shit. He's a scrapper, so there is a little bit of a threat that Luque could get chinned, but Kelvin Gastelum couldn't chin him, and he destroyed Kelvin Gastelum. I think Kelvin Gastelum's a better fighter right now than Tresean Gore. Even though Kelvin Gastelum's just a fucking meatball man. But I still think he's technically better than Tresean Gore. Tresean Gore is a scrapper, so if he gets scrappy on the feet, I could see him chinning Luque, but Luque, I don't know. I see this being a Luque versus RDA type of performance where he just ragdolls him for 3 rounds to a decision. You know, like I don't see him giving him the chance. So I think it's either going to be a decision for Vicente Luque or a submission, a Darce choke. I mean, I'm gonna go with submission in round 3. I think he's gonna get a Darce choke in round 3. I just don't think Tresean Gore's that good. I don't think he should be in the UFC. I know he just beat Makhachev, who was kind of hyped up. I thought Makhachev was gonna be really good, but I don't know. I don't think Luque is gonna be dumb enough to get in a barn burner scrap with him like Makhachev did. Maybe he does. Maybe this is like a fucking all-time scrap, and then Luque gets chinned. That could very well happen, but I'm pretty confident in Luque using his grappling, using his wrestling. His wrestling's pretty underrated. He's a very good wrestler. And I think I don't think Tresean Gore's that he's not much bigger than him too. Like for being a middleweight, like he's fought at welterweight before, I think. Unless or maybe he didn't. Maybe on the tough he was a middleweight. Yeah, I think so. I think he's been at middleweight his whole career, but he's been chinned before. Cody Brundage caught him on the chin when he's going for a leg kick. Like I think Luque has the power to make Tresean Gore think about what he's throwing. I've just seen Tresean Gore in too many wars. I've seen him chinned. I know his level, and his level isn't beating Vicente Luque, I don't think. But maybe, who knows? Maybe he'll just chin him out of nowhere. That could happen too. On to Dante Johnson versus Eric Makhachev. Now, this is one that you would think, based on the odds, I'm pretty sure that Dante Johnson is a fucking very big... No, he's not. Okay. The odds are right in this one, I think. Okay. I thought that Deontay Johnson was going to be a very big favorite. He's not. He shouldn't be, because he's not that good. Cody Brundage gave him a very tough fight. Both these guys arguably lost to Cody Brundage, which is never a good look. Ever. This is the bottom barrel of middleweight. Dante Johnson, there's just something about him where I just know he's destined to get fucked up eventually. He's gonna get fucking destroyed eventually. Is Eric Makhachev the type of guy to destroy someone? No. Could I see him winning a decision here where he withstands Dante Johnson and picks his shots? Sure, I could, but I don't see it. I think Dante Johnson's gonna go in there and KO him in round 1. I kind of do want to pick Eric Makhachev because, you know, Susurkayev had a very hard time putting him away, but Susurkayev is more of like a find the right shot, kind of, you know, let the fight play out until I find my shot that I want. Where Dante Johnson's the type of guy to just go in there and swing until you're out, or fucking pick you up and slam you 5 times and throw you all over the place, just trying to land shit on you until you just give up. And I do think that that's how this fight's going to go. I think he's going to go in there and bulldoze Eric Makhachev in round 1. He's not good, though. He will lose eventually. I just don't think it's to Eric Makhachev. On to Charles Johnson versus Eduardo Henrique, I think his name is. Eduardo Henrique Chaplin. Taking this on very short notice, like a week's notice. This fight got made. Let me see. When did this fight get made? I'm going to check on my phone. 21-year-old. I'm pretty sure it was like 3 days ago this fight got made. 2 days ago. 2 days ago. So, yeah. So, what would that be? So, would that be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 4 days notice? I think Charles Johnson's going to go in there and KO him. This is the type of fight that Charles Johnson would lose. So don't be surprised if he fucking throws it away. And I don't think he's going to KO him. I don't know if I just said that, but I don't think so. I changed my mind if I did. I think there's going to be a close 29-28 decision for Charles Johnson because Chaplin is pretty good. He beat the guy in the Contender Series that Loner Kavanaugh fucking brutally KO'd in the Contender Series. If you remember that. Chaplin beat that guy by decision, but that guy is very good. He's like a very high-level flyweight outside the UFC, so and he's young, like he's improving. So it was a good win. But Charles Johnson's been here, man. Like, he knows what's up. He knows his way around a fucking octagon, man. And yeah, I think he's gonna go in there and get scrappy. I think they're gonna get scrappy. I think Charles Johnson will hold him against the cage a little bit. Win the moments, land some good stuff on the feet, drop him maybe once, and win a close decision. Oh, he's got bumped to the prelims, eh? That's unfortunate. I think this is one of the better fights on the card. The prelim headliner, Chidi Njokuani versus Joel Alvarez. This one's actually kind of a thinker, because I'm a big believer in Joel Alvarez. So, and, knowing Joel Alvarez, you would just think he's just going to go in here and destroy him. But Chidi's fucking good, man. Chidi is very good on the feet, and he's big. He's huge for welterweight. He's a lot bigger than Joel Alvarez, even though there's only an inch apart in height. Chidi's going to be, his frame is a lot bigger than Joel Alvarez's frame. This is a former lightweight versus a former middleweight. So, I am kind of scared for Joel Alvarez. He's never fought anyone this much bigger than him. So it's going to be and he's taking on short notice. So this is a challenge for him. I'm very excited for this fight. Because I think this is a banger. I think this is going to be an all-out banger. Both guys like in the clinch. Both guys are really good with knees and elbows and Muay Thai and stuff like that. So it's going to be a little bit of a mirror match. But I think the outlier between these two is Joel Alvarez does have grappling to fall back onto. And Chidi Njokuani is kind of chinny. He's been chinned before. He's been broken before. He's had a lot of losses. A lot of damage. He's old. I'm going to go with Joel Alvarez by a submission. I think he's going to drop Chidi with something in round 2 and latch up an Anaconda or Darce or a guillotine, something like that, and get a round 2 submission and a fucking banger. I think this is going to be a fucking all-time banger. I really do. So, very looking forward to this fight. This is probably, other than like the main event, this is probably like the second best fight in the card, if I'm being real. Alright, there's a lot of these type of fights on the main card. We're going back to back with them. Edson Barbosa versus Estevan Ribovic. Unk's going to sleep, and Unk's going to get slept bad. No, probably not, because Ribovic doesn't have much power, but Unk's going to get beat up for 3 rounds and TKO'd against the fence. Unk's going to have 150 significant strikes landed on him in a 3-round fight. But seriously, I do think this is going to be a fucking ass whooping. I don't think that Ribovic's going to KO him, but this is going to be a one-sided beating. Edson Barbosa just lost to Rafa Garcia, I think. Or maybe it was Jakar Close. I always get those two confused. But he lost to one of those type of guys in his last one. No, maybe he got knocked out by Jalen Turner in his last one. He's on like a 5-fight losing streak. He's 40-something. He's still in great shape, but unfortunately you can't win fights off of being in good shape. It's going to be sad. It is going to be a sad beatdown. Ribovic is just going to go out there and volume max all over him. And Barbosa's not going to... I think it's going to be round 1. I think it's going to be a round 1 up against the cage TKO. I just think once Ribovic starts flowing and starts throwing his combinations and just starts fucking... Like, I think there'll be like a 2-minute, like, kind of waiting out period where it'll be like Barbosa's dangerous. He's dangerous in those first 2 minutes. He might try a flying knee. He might tag Ribovic with something and make sure Ribovic's eyes go, whoa, opens up his eyes a little bit. But once Barbosa starts to gash, Ribovic is just going to start throwing shit and landing shit and beating the shit out of him with fucking just volume. Like, he throws so much. Barbosa doesn't like being in those type of fights where it's high volume. He likes being in a kind of you go, I go kind of point fight, kind of big movement for big movement kind of fight. And Rivovich doesn't do that, man. He just fucking always goes. And I think that's such a fucking bad stylistic matchup for Edson Barboza, especially this version of Edson Barboza, who's old, who's withered, who's been in so many wars. Unk's gonna get destroyed in a round, and it's unfortunate. On to Mansour Abdulmalik versus Dustin Stoltzfus. Huge favorite in Mansour Abdulmalik. Huge favorite. He should not be this much of a favorite. I'm going to keep it real. He's kind of shit. He has not beaten anyone good, and the first good opponent he fought, he got destroyed. So, with that being said, I do think this is going to be a very close fight. I do think it's going to go to decision, but I do think Mansour Abdulmalik is going to win. I think he has the athleticism advantage. I think he has a speed advantage, maybe a little bit of a power advantage. But Dustin Stoltzfus probably is a better technical fighter than him. I don't know. There's just something about Mansour Abdulmalik, and it's just like he has all of it, but it's just he's not good. And it's like how? How are you not good? You're fucking 6'2". You have an 80-inch reach at middleweight. You're a fucking athletic freak, and he's just not good. And it's like, oh, nice. But I am going to go with Mansour Abdulmalik here. I think he's going to be able to mix in the grappling. He has good grappling. I think he'll be winning the stand-up. I think he's going to win at 30-27, 29-28, like clear decision. But I think we're all going to be thinking, oh, it's going to be like one of those ones. A very forgettable fight. Another one where you're just like, oh, yeah, he won. Good for him, I guess. And we're kind of wanting more. I always just feel like I'm wanting more when at Mansour Abdulmalik fights, and he just never delivers. Maybe this one will be it. Stoltzfus is very chinnable. He's been chinned by Abus Magomedov in the first round. He got front kicked in the face. Bruno Ferreira. Is that his name? Yeah. Baby Hulk. Baby Hulk spinning elbow KO'd him. He's been in wars before. Like, he has more damage done to him. But I just don't think Mansour Abdulmalik is good enough to finish him. Maybe he is. He should. Like, this is a fight that's being set up for him to get a big finish. He's a minus 600 favorite. He shouldn't be. He should probably be like minus 300. But I just fucking moved everything. There we go. But yeah, I just worry about Mansour Abdulmalik. So I'm gonna go Mansour Abdulmalik 30-27, clear decision, kind of a boring fight. He holds him against the cage, holds him down a little bit. On to an actually good fight. This is probably the second best fight on the card. I lied. This is a sick fight. Jalen Turner versus Kaue Fernandez. God, the whole fight week, I really wanted to pick Kaue Fernandez. I really did, but I just can't. Jalen Turner, he's 6'3". He's fucking huge. 77-inch reach. Like, Kaue Fernandez is a rangy striker. His leg kicks could come in here. You look at the legs. I mean, look at the legs of fucking Jalen Turner, man. Those things are just primed to be leg kicked to shit. So maybe Kaue can, beat the shit out of his legs. But unfortunately, Jalen Turner's probably just going to land a right down the middle. A right straight down the middle. Knock him down and catch him in a guillotine in round 1. Unfortunately, I really wanted to pick Kaue, but I just can't. Jalen Turner's just so fucking big for the division. Maybe Kaue can grapple, but I don't know. I haven't seen enough. He hasn't really fought anyone good at all. Other than Graham. But he's kind of shit. Like, in retrospect, like, we all thought Graham was good, but he's lost so much. He had a close fight with Vucenic. Vucenic's, cut. He beat Harry Hardwick. Harry Hardwick's not fucking good. He's just a tough guy from England who's also a featherweight. So, yeah. I got Jalen Turner first round submission. Straight down the middle. Guillotine. On to the co-main event. Mackenzie Dern versus Jillian Robertson. How the fuck did Jillian Robertson get a title shot? Like, what the fuck? Who the fuck did she even beat? Did she beat Lemos? I know that. Who else did she beat? Did she beat Yan Nan? No, I don't think so, right? They never fought. 1 second. I gotta go check her fucking one. She got a title shot off of beating Amanda Lemos. What? How do you get a title shot after beating Amanda Lemos in the big 2026? Interesting stuff. I think Dern is gonna win. Decision. Outdoing her on the feet, but doesn't have enough power to put her away. But outclassing her on the feet a little bit. And also outgrappling her to a 49-46 dominant decision. On to the good fight of the card. Thank fucking God we are here. Holy fucking moly. This is a banger. Okay? And I know bangers. Okay? I know bangers. And this is a banger. Okay? It's a fucking sick fight, man. It really is. Makhachev chasing GOAT status. If he wins this one, he'll break the all-time record for longest active UFC win streak. Or no, not active. Longest win streak in UFC history ever. He's tied with Silva and Kamaru Usman right now. A lot on the line for Ian Garry. This is his shot to be the world champion. I hate him so much. He's an annoying cuck. But he's very good at fighting, which is so unfortunate for all of us because we have to listen to him talk. Ian Garry's a lot bigger than him. You know? Like, this is a true welterweight versus Makhachev, you know? JDM was very similar in frame to Makhachev. Makhachev obviously destroyed him over 5 rounds, unfortunately, grappled him every round and just held him down. Ireland versus Russia. I got Makhachev. I'm not, this is going to be a very tricky fight for him, and as long as it lasts, it will be very competitive. Ian Garry's going to be scooting around the outside, not wanting to engage, just jabbing every once in a while, making Makhachev come to him. But I just think the grappling threat of Makhachev will be too much for Ian Garry to overcome on the feet, because in the Shavkat fight, he was very hesitant on the feet because of the grappling threat, and I don't see him latching up Makhachev's back off a shitty takedown attempt like he did against Shavkat. Yeah, so I do have Makhachev winning this one. Ian Garry could do it though, he could establish his leg kicks, but I just think Makhachev is very fucking good. I do think he's the greatest fighter ever, so I kind of have a hard time justifying anyone beating him. Especially when you don't really have a big power threat. I think a Morales or a Protez makes a interesting fight because of the knockout threat that they both have. But where Garry is, his threat is that he is very good defensive wrestling. He's a very good counter grappler. He's very big. He knows how to fight at range. He's very smart. He's fine with just stinking it up. Landing one jab every minute, and that's the whole fight, and he just runs around. He's fine with that, as long as he wins, that's all that matters. He doesn't need a big KO. He doesn't need a highlight reel. He doesn't need a bonus. He doesn't want any of that. He just wants the belt, which is actually an advantage for him, I think. But I don't know, man. I just can't pick against Makhachev. I picked JDM to beat him. That was stupid. I have a hard time justifying anyone beating him. and that's literally just it. But he's very good striking defense. He's probably like one of the best striking defensive strike. He's one of the best defensive strikers in the UFC right now. Probably like the only one's better than him, like Petr Yan, guys like that, like guys that are lighter than him. But at welterweight, he's probably the best defensive striker in the division. He also has good leg kicks. I could see those kind of working against Ian Garry. You know, he's got those long legs. Yeah, I think Makhachev is going to go in there. It'll be a very, very close fight. Ian Garry might be winning the fight, but I do think Makhachev's going to submit him with a Darce choke in round 4. Get him on a single leg, drag him down, and while Gary's scrambling up, he's going to get him. He's just going to get him. But he is just going to get him. He's just going to get him in a Darce choke. And cement himself as the greatest fighter of all time. Because I think if he wins this one, it's a hard time debating against him. You know, Volkanovski twice, Poirier, Arman Tsarukyan really early, but still the longest win streak ever, double champ. Like, if he wins this one, I think he's the GOAT. I think this makes him the GOAT of the sport. Ian Garry's a fucking really tough fighter to beat. Carlos Prates couldn't beat him, and he's probably like the best striker in the welterweight division. And Garry outstruck him. So does that make Garry the best striker in the division? Probably. So that's like, Garry is fucking good, man. And he's long, and he uses his kicks very well. And I could see Makhachev kind of wandering into a head kick. But I gotta trust in the GOAT. Trust in Dagestani wrestling to win. And also, Makhachev doesn't like him. He fucking hates him, like the rest of us. Everyone hates Garry. The crowd's gonna be booing Ian Garry on the walkout. He'll probably be crying, being like, "You're all talking about me. You're all talking about me. It doesn't matter. You're all talking about me." Fucking crying his way into the ring. Yeah, I got Islam Makhachev by round 4 Darce choke. Thank you very much for watching if you made it this far. Peace out. I'm out. See ya.